So this meeting is now called to order. This is the Brattleboro Planning Commission special meeting called for February 8th, 2011. Are there any announcements?
Would just like to welcome Dan Handy. Dan is our newest planning commissioner. So he is filling out the term that Kathy Erfer had. So welcome, Dan, if you want to.
Thank you. Yep, I'm looking forward to this one. That's interesting as a first meeting. Sorry, but although I do apologize for missing the first one, that I must have missed an email or something.
No worries.
No problem. I think it was my communication fault.
Yeah, who knows? Anyway, thanks.
Are there any public comments from y'all public that are here? No? Okay. The approval of the minutes of February 4th? Wasn't it February 1st?
It was February 1st.
Yeah, don't confuse me like that.
I'm sorry. I would say, oh, okay. This is.
It's so the minutes are February 1st of last week was February 1st, was Wednesday. Monday. Okay. So did everybody get a chance? Hi Dory. Where'd you go?
He was logged on to the wrong account, so he'll be back.
Okay. Did everybody get a chance to read them, and is there a motion to pass them?
I'll move to pass the February 1st meeting minutes.
Great. Is there a second?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you, Jess. All right, the minutes have been moved and seconded. Is there discussion? Super. All those in favor of approving the minutes as submitted with the shift to the 1st? Okay. I actually don't know that you can vote, Dan, because you weren't actually here for the meeting.
Good point. I'm listed as right. I'm listed as absent on the minutes. So yeah, whatever that means.
But
I actually think that I should probably get clarification on that. I've been in meetings where absent people have been able to vote.
Oh, on the minutes, really?
Yeah, but if you're not comfortable voting, you can abstain.
No, I'm sorry, Dan, what are your preferred pronouns?
He, him,
Okay.
his, yep.
He wanted to vote. So I mean, the minutes are approved. So we just say that?
Got it.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So now we are into the review of our draft document. Welcome back, Dory. Did everybody get a chance to look at the document? And Sue, do you want to present it to us, or how would you like this to go?
Sure, I'll just present it by saying last week at our meeting on Monday, there was discussion. Cassandra Holloway brought the upcoming town meeting vote on retail, on whether or not Brattleboro will opt into retail cannabis, and was speaking to the Planning Commission about some of the possible zoning powers that the town could enact. And if I summarize it correctly, the Planning Commission wanted to put out a statement regarding that there are zoning tools that would be available should the town vote to opt in. Well, at the same time, there's still a lot that needs to be decided on by the State Cannabis Control Board. So the statement that I wrote is meant to be educational and go over the tools that the enabling legislation allows for. and then commits the planning commission to a open public process should the town vote to opt in, both in getting people's opinions on regulation and also evaluating whether we think what we have existing is suitable.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a great tool to send perhaps as a press release or with a press release to news outlets so that they have this information when they're writing articles, communicating to the public what these warrant articles or what these items are going to mean when they vote for them. So I think this will be a great tool, not necessarily for the general public, but for information sharers.
So that raises a question. Do we have a plan, or do we need to have a plan for where we put this and who we send this to? Or is it going to be on our website?
Well, we could definitely put it on the website. I'm happy to hear where you would like it distributed. I recall that Cassandra said that they could send it out to, with the materials that they've put together. So it's really up to where you would like it to go.
Okay, looks like Dory needs a copy.
I just put it in the chat.
Okay, great. So for further discussion about the content of does anybody have any substantive comments or any other kind of comment on the text? Tom,
Quickly,
yeah.
yeah, I think it shows that we have quite a broad and comprehensive palette of regulations that could be applied. So I think the memo doesn't have like concrete specifics in a certain way, but I think that's not really appropriate at this time so early in the game. So I think it's written really well and shows that there's a lot that we can do and that we're going to be really open to input from the public to the extent that they come and share. And so I think it's well done. I have no suggestions except for the typo in the center of paragraph number 2.
I wonder if there is a way at the bottom to break up that paragraph about these types of regulations already exist as a separate point, then the commission will seek broad public involvement. Just so that can stand apart and stand out.
Sure.
So do we want to talk about where we want to put it?
Can I ask a quick question?
Of course.
There's just two things that I know we don't want to get into specifics, and I understand the notion behind this, but I suppose I'm thinking people looking at this will want at least some idea of some specifics. I was primarily thinking about anything that might already be in place about, I guess this would fit under signage for things like a grand opening of a store where you're going to have lines around the block type of thing. I don't know if that, really needs to come into this, but is there anything to do with signage, like let's say on a sidewalk during a opening? That was just a thought.
There definitely are temporary signage regulations. We do allow stuff like that for grand openings. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. It might have to be on premise, not off premise. I'd have to have the sign regulations in front of me, but we do regulate things like banners and size and location, not content, because that's governed by Supreme Court rules on being content neutral.
Okay, rollout. Sorry, my dog is eating.
Yeah, I'm curious, do we want the staff to release this as some sort of media release, or do we want to, as commissioners, connect the media and community to this document as, as the outreach team for the planning department.
Anybody have an opinion, thought on that? Tom?
Just, I don't know if it's really answering Jess's question, but remember 2 years ago at actual in-person town meeting, when that existed, there was a table where people kind of last minute could provide any materials that they had. Obviously that won't happen now, but I guess what I'm getting at is I'm not really even aware of the way that anyone else is getting material to the voters besides, the news. And so I guess what I'm saying is don't look to me, but there must be some people must know. I'm sure last year was kind of, it was the first time it happened all digitally. So there was an absence maybe of as much information as there was in the previous years on the articles, but
Does the town provide any educational resources when they in their elections page, so that voters can have information?
That's a good question. I actually need to, I'm more familiar with representative town meeting and pulling together materials for that than for the general town meeting, and that's where this will be voted at. So I can certainly find out if the town, pulls any materials together. But I'm sorry, I don't have that answer.
And Sue, is it within your guys' wheelhouse to put out a media release on the statement?
Yep, we can do that.
It seemed like Cassandra was the sort of was at least positioning her organization as the kind of clearinghouse for information on this. Undoubtedly, we'll send a copy to her, right? And she can get it out to whoever she talks to, which it seems like a lot. It seems like she's connecting up with a lot of different people.
And Scott, thank you for coming tonight. I think when we talked, you had said you were doing a little bit of a campaign to promote the vote.
Yes, you may have seen in the newspaper, I've taken out some full-page ads advocating for opt-in, as well as recommending if people have questions, they can come talk to me. I have a different set of information than Cassandra has, I guess is the best way to put it. I haven't presented any of those things yet because it hasn't seemed like the proper place or time. But if that comes about, I have what some might call alternative facts, but I have information available.
Would you be interested in having this or using this as a tool when you communicate these ways the town might regulate cannabis sales? Just to share with your community that there will be ways to make sure it's safe.
Yeah, you mean like what would my plans be to meet those regulations? Is that what you're asking me?
No, just as a communication tool. I think we created it to let folks know that there were mechanisms that could be put in place to ensure safety or to sort of regulate a little bit how sales happen. So I guess if it's for anyone on the fence that you're talking with or working with, is this a tool that you might be able to use to talk to them more about, it's not going to be a free-for-all?
Right. What I have is basic data from studies that have been done in other states that have gone legal and addressing some of the concerns some people, particularly Cassandra and her group, have, as well as, some sales data for the positive things that it could do for the town, in particular for Brattleboro, because they have the 1% tax already in place. So as an example, if I was ever able to get to the final place of opening a store, Brattleboro will get 1% of my cannabis sales, which would be a sizable chunk of money for the town. And just to alleviate anyone's fears, I would not be planning on opening this where I'm currently located. I'm fully aware that that's not an acceptable place to do that. And I have places I'm looking at, balls in the air, let me put it that way, that I feel would be very, very acceptable to most, if not all people.
So is it, if we do a press release, if we get it to Cassandra, if we give it to Scott and any other sort of member of the public who feels like they're going to be in a position to be talking more broadly to members of the community, is there anything else we need to do? I mean, I think it seems like it would be useful to put it on our website. Because that, if I were wondering and somebody said, oh yeah, I mean, the plan, that would go under the Planning Commission, I would go to the Planning Commission's website to see if there was something. So that might be helpful to put it there. Yeah, Dory.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a good idea it does show due diligence in going about this process in a efficient way for it to happen. I mean, I think the fact that we are still it's still such a tiptoe process is sometimes a tad wild because the majority of the population is incredibly for it. It's not like our Vermont has already moved to another space that I don't, when people have to drive out of state to go to realtors or to go to distributors, knowing that why not just have it here? So I think it's nice to be able to have these somewhere visible, because I think it's already kind of people have accepted it. It's not, I mean, some people obviously still have restrictions there, but I think having this somewhere visible just help sort of ease the process or make it move quicker.
Is there a way to see if the other towns like Hillary, the town clerk office, if they could post something like this on the elections page that on the town website? Is that a possibility?
I'll ask.
Yeah, it seems like it should go into any packet that goes out to info packet that goes for town meeting.
Yeah,
I mean,
I do not believe that they do a large mailing for a regular town meeting, like to all the voters. I don't think they do, but I need to confirm all that.
So how about presence at town meeting? Is there going to be one of us there in the chance that there's a question as to how we regulate and somebody can answer Sue?
No, it's strictly because this is regular town meeting. So it's the voting where people just go in and vote and leave. It's not representative town meeting where there's discussion.
So nobody's going to ask questions. Okay.
Right.
Well, so regular outlets, possible to get it into a mailing, do a media reformer, and I mean, it seems like Vermont Digger might also sort of pick this up. Those are my two sources of information. Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to not follow the reformer, but I follow the comments weekly.
And the comments, right?
The comments is on my press release media list, and the reformer is actually in this meeting. So Chris is here from the reformer. And then, yeah.
So is there anything else?
Could you post it on iBrattleboro or? Yeah, great.
Front Porch Forum, iBrattleboro. We'll put it on the Planning Commission's Facebook page. Probably I'll ask to have it on the front page of the website.
Nice.
So then let's assume, I mean, that we probably ought to put this on our agenda pretty soon then. Right?
Once we have the results of the vote.
Right. So that would be our April meeting.
Yes.
Okay. Further conversation? Yes, Dory.
I was just going to say some of the language for number 3. I don't know if you mentioned that, Jess, but there, the level of operations that are there's just a little repeat there, and I feel like yeah, no, that was it. I think I love that. I mean, being someone that I hate too much in terms of like density, it's very it seems very readable and absorbable by the sort of for everybody. So it's very good.
Would you like a motion, Felicity?
I would love a motion.
oh gosh, what does it have to be? Like, I move that we accept and publish this statement about the retail cannabis and zoning.
Is there a
Second.
Yeah, second.
Thank you. The motion has been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Or is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Hands up, please. Anybody opposed? No, because everybody voted for it. So the motion passes unanimously. Is there any further business before the commission? All right. Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Everybody in favor of adjourning? Thank you, Sue and Andrew, for your excellent work on at a short time frame. And thank you, public, for showing up. Everybody stay safe. See you next month.
See you on the first.
Thank you.
Bye, all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.